Hello there and welcome to Nerd.World Films and part 6 of the Friday the 13th series, this time Jason Lives. This is the first movie we see where Jason actually returns from the dead and unequivocally is definitely an effing zombie in this movie. And although I've stated this in previous movies where he's obviously a supernatural being, he's been killed several fucking times. This film doesn't even mince words on it. It's basically, he's an effing zombie. He's an undead killing machine who comes back to life. So, before we get started, like, share, subscribe. Go check out the other films in this series that I have done before watching this one, just so you're up to speed. I'll wait. If you've already watched them, great, let's carry on. Number 5 saw a different serial killer basically being a copycat of Jason. This movie we see Jason returning. We also see the return of Tommy Jarvis, yet again played by another actor. And I should point out that there will be a lot of spoilers in this episode. I will try to avoid them as always as much as I can, because I would really rather you watched it and appreciated the movie for yourself. Again, looking at the cast, this film is also directed by Tom McLaughlin, and we get Tom Matthews playing Tommy Jarvis, which, again, as I said, completely different actor. As I said, we get the return of Tommy Jarvis in this movie, and I'm going to put on the record, I'm going to build myself a little hill, I'm going to stand on it, I'm going to say this: every bad thing that happens in this film, everything, everyone that dies, everyone that suffers, all the pain, all the misery, Tommy caused it. Yeah, you could argue that Jason was the root cause of a lot of these problems. You can even say that Pamela Voorhees was the root cause of a lot of these problems. You could even say the camp counselors from back in the 70s, or whenever it was, I think, where Jason allowed Jason to die, could be responsible. But in these specific events, Tommy is responsible, and I'll get to why in just a moment. But he caused this. It's a hill that I may die on, being killed by Jason Voorhees. So, let's begin. This film opens with Jason buried, dead. No problems. Tommy and his friend escape from the asylum or whatever the hell they were in, and Tommy is obsessed. His friend is begging to leave. We gotta go, man, we can't stay here, we gotta leave. Tommy's like, I have to know. He's brought shovels, he's brought stuff to kill him with, he has to know that he's dead. So they dig him up, they open up, and you got a very gooey Jason covered in worms who couldn't possibly come back to life. And now he's seen him dead, his mate's like, right, he's dead, let's go. Tommy can't handle it. He gets a big spike and he jabs it into Jason in the middle of a great thunderstorm, heaving, dripping with wet, and he is just there. Finally, there is peace. I've got this right through his heart, which is relevant in future movies, I should point out. But anyway, he impales Jason. But then the thunder and lightning starts, and the rod that he has just jabbed into Jason hits him with lightning, and fuck me, brings him back to life. Who knew that could work? Jason rises from the dead, kills his friend in front of him, still covered in worms as they drop off his apparently rotting corpse. Jason's a zombie, remember. Jason comes after him, but he gets away. He drives off. And Jason starts to walk his little ass back to Crystal Lake. Along the way, he's going to run into some people who are doing their best misogyny in the woods and playing a friendly war game, shooting each other with paintballs. And it turns out that the woman in the group, who should never be there, according to one of them, is winning. And you got one insanely nerdy little fucker running around the woods lost, who is just comic relief golden until he dies off screen. And yeah, Jason appears, kills 3 of them, including the woman who was winning, in one swoop of his machete that he's previously taken off the one misogynistic twat who's just not happy that there's a woman playing in their war games, and he's really taking things too fucking seriously for, paintball. Tommy, on the other hand, knows where Jason's going. Now he shoots his way ass back to the nearest town on his way to Crystal Lake, and I'll never understand this in movies, right? You're a person who's apparently rational, yeah, but people think you're crazy. Why act crazy to convince them that you're basically crazy? You always get this. It's a cliche, and it pisses me the fuck off when I'm watching a film and the hero character, Tommy Jarvis in this case, remember, is responsible for every death here because he brought Jason back to life. He should have just left him dead. The worms that had taken care of it, they were eating him. There'd have been nothing fucking left. Anyway, he has to be the hero now, and he goes into town with his chiseled chin, stupid haircut, and he's there ranting and raving about how Jason Voorhees has come back. He comes storming into the sheriff's office. Sheriff nearly fucking shoots him because he takes him by surprise, and because guns, I guess. And he's ranting, he's raving, he's screaming that Jason's alive. Jason lives, if you will. And obviously the sheriff's like, fucking hell, you're crazy, dude. Get in that prison cell right now. And he's like, no, I'm not crazy. Why would you think I'm crazy? Because a guy came back to dead. Serial killer's been dead for years. I'm not crazy. What do you mean I came from a nut house? Yeah, I came from a nut house. Yeah, but my friend died. He convinces the sheriff of nothing. The sheriff eventually decides to kick him out of town, saying, don't you come back here, you see. Get out. And they take him to the edge of town, but instead of him leaving, he spins around, drives back to the cemetery, but lo and behold, the body's been covered up. See, his friend, when Jason killed him, fell into the grave. And this guy comes toddling along thinking, fuck me, teenagers again digging up Jason, wanting to gawk at a skeleton. I'll just bury him again. Even though he sees what is clearly a fresh human leg sticking out of the coffin. This guy's a drunken idiot, apparently. He buries him, and he denies everything when he sees the sheriff and him. It's like, fuck off, stupid kid. And I'm sure he dies at some point. He should do anyway, he's an idiot. And yeah, Tommy again finds his way back into town. But while he was in the prison cell, for some reason the sheriff's daughter gets a lady boner for him, and I don't know why. Crazy person ranting, just because he's got a chiseled chin and a stupid haircut and he's kinda tall, doesn't mean you gotta buff him. It's seriously, if it was that easy, I'd have lost my virginity by now. It's so not that easy, but yet it's portrayed as it, and she gets a lady boner for this guy and basically gonna do anything to defy her father. Is telling her, this guy is dangerous. He may have killed people. He's come from a mental asylum, but look, he's so pretty. What the fuck? It makes no sense. So we move on. She's now helping him. He gets in touch with her. She comes to pick him up. She brings him into town. She helps him get guns. She helps him rally people. It's ridiculous. Now, without going into too many spoilers of exactly the chain of events from here, eventually they sort of try to cut Jason off. He's gone on a killing spree, hacking his way. They all think that Tommy's responsible, and by the way, he fucking is. It may be Jason killing, and you could argue Jason doesn't have to kill people, but a zombie gotta do what a zombie gotta do, right? Zombie serial killer gonna kill people. So, but he wouldn't have been doing if Tommy hadn't dug him the fuck up. Anyway, he's basically on a killing spree. They're blaming Tommy for all the deaths, and they're just carrying along on their merry way while they're trying to really stop Tommy while Jason's off killing people. Tommy's trying to stop Jason, but because he's trying to stop Jason, everywhere he goes there's dead bodies, because everywhere he goes Jason has just been there and killed some people. Eventually though, the sheriff gets to see Jason lives. See, the part of this story we've left out a little bit here is his daughter and other friends are all actually camp counselors. What a shock. And they've got a bunch of little snot-nosed brats up at the lake, all asleep, cuddled up in bed, while Jason arrives. Jason slowly meanders through, and you think it's going to be a bloodbath here, like Alien versus Predator, sort of Requiem bloodbath here. But Jason kills some guy, and then he just stares at this little girl who's sobbing under her sheets and doesn't kill her, because children. Jason doesn't kill children. Fuck off. Jason. Anyway, not that I wanted him to see, massacre a room full of kids. I'm just saying, it's fucking Jason. He'd have killed them. What the hell? But anyway, the camp counselors are trying to stop it. They're pulling people away. They're taking them to safety while being hacked to pieces themselves by Jason, because he's no problem killing teenagers, who, by the way, are basically children anyway. Whatever. Moving along. Now, eventually, they get back. The sheriff's there. His deputy's dead. He's seen Jason. His daughter's somewhere. They've got a plan. Their plan is basically, spoilers ahead by the way, they're going to tie Jason up and bury him at the bottom of the lake. They can't kill him, so we'll trap him, is basically the idea here. The sheriff hears his daughter. He goes at Jason, has an epic fight with Jason, but ultimately gets killed, and then Jason goes after them. He really, as he's going after the sheriff's daughter, he really wants Tommy. He's sick of Tommy. Remember, Tommy hacked him in the head. Tommy buried him. Tommy brought him back from the dead. How dare he? So, Tommy's got to die. Tommy's got to fucking die. So, Jason stops trying to kill the sheriff's daughter, goes after him. Guess he's got a brain after all. It might be a rotten zombie brain, but he's got a brain. goes after Tommy, but it's a trick. Oh no. Tommy manages to lure him into the lake and weigh him down. He struggles to keep Tommy under with him, but the sheriff's daughter, she saves him, and I suppose they live happily fucking ever after with Jason at the bottom of the lake, rotting away. But dum dum dum, we get a zoom in, a close up on his eye, still moving. Of course, he's a fucking zombie, he ain't dead, but the idea was to trap him after all. It wasn't a bad plan, all things considered, and it did work. They locked him away, they managed to seal him up. But not before his stupid actions had resulted in lots of people dying, which, that is where I am standing. He is responsible for all the bad shit that happened in this film. The fake out from the last movie where we think he's really going to turn into Jason, the next killer, always a bullshit. Every film with him ends with a fucking fake out, except this time, I suppose. Maybe he's finally found the peace he doesn't deserve because he just got a lot of people killed. This would be like someone just going up to like, hey, day release for Ted Bundy, come on. What the fuck? Anyway, that is Jason Part 6. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, more accurately. There are several more movies in this franchise to come, so spoiler alert, he's not gone yet. He ain't gone for good. This film is bloody, it's violent, it actually cuts down, massively tones down on any kind of nudity and things that the other previous movies have been infamous for. And again, similar to number 5, that has a more cinematic feel, this movie definitely also has that same level of cinematic feel. It looks visually much better. It actually manages to use lighting and the dark quite effectively in this movie to create a sense of unease a lot of the time in the movie. It's not brilliant, it's hardly a suspense building film, but I'm trying to give it a little bit of credit here. The characters are a little two-dimensional, which is fairly powerful for the cause. It is by far not Shakespeare, basically. And quite frankly, Tommy Jarvis is an annoying fuckwit, and the sheriff's daughter, she's an idiot. I'm sorry, I mean, yeah, she's helpful and she's all that shit, but no one who just meets crazy guy in dad's jail thinks to myself, hell yeah, I want a piece of that. And you're gonna commit crimes for him, you're gonna help him defeat a serial killer, etc., etc. You're not gonna do that. It made no sense that she basically became so horny for him that she was getting close, unusually close to the jail cell. The only tension really in the scene is you thinking, fuck, he could be a killer. Get away from the prison cell. What are you doing? He could grab you and break your neck. You don't know this man. It's like, there's a guy at the end of the dark alley. I'm going to go sit on his knee. That's basically what she was doing. She might have felt a little safer because her dad and her friends were there, but the point is, a dangerous convict, as her father puts it, is in a prison cell. There's a lot of things story beat wise that are kind of meh. Also, the resurrection of Jason is also kind of contrived. It's fine for these kinds of horror movies because that's basically the tone of these movies now. The characters are not as fun as they were in some of the other films that have come before it, but they are still entertaining. The film is an effective level of comedy, which it does lean into a little bit more in this movie, a little bit of violence, and generally a little bit of a not whodunit murder mystery like number 5 managed to get, but a little bit of a when are they going to get to the truth? Why aren't they believing him kind of feeling, even though he's fucking nuts, and that's why he's behaving stupid, he's behaving insane. It's kind of annoying. So this film, on my epic scoring system in my pie chart, is only getting a 4 out of 6 because Tommy Jarvis is becoming a bit of a boring character by this point. I didn't really want to see him return for this movie. I didn't feel I needed it. I know that they felt he was an in, but quite frankly they should have killed him at the beginning of the film with his friend, who he got killed by dragging him out there digging up Jason in the first place. They should have just killed him off and had the sheriff's daughter be the hero the film deserved, rather than have Tommy be the knight in shining chin armor. But there we have it. It ain't a masterpiece, as I said, it ain't Shakespeare, but it is up there. It's decent tier with the Friday the 13th movies. It's entertaining, and actually their plan to contain Jason makes a lot of sense. It was actually a good idea. I mean, the execution resulted in a lot of deaths, but it's, you're up against Jason Voorhees. People are going to die. But overall, good film, very enjoyable. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely, again, you're a completionist. It's definitely not worth skipping. But I do feel that by this movie, the Tommy Jarvis character had run his course by this point and simply needed to be removed from the film rather than be the film's protagonist. But you may have a different opinion on it to me. I'm hardly a film critic. I'm just someone that really enjoys movies, and I do really enjoy these films. I love the Friday the 13th films, and I hope you do too. And I haven't ruined this for you. If you've not actually seen it, I do advise, go watch these films. If you want an informed opinion on a movie, make your own. But that is my opinion. That is my official opinion on it. With that said, that is the end of this video, and part 7 will be coming soon. I just want to take this moment to thank you for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, please check out my social links in the description box below to Instagram and Twitter and others, and also is down there a link to my Patreon page where you can support this channel and the others as I try to grow this franchise and do this more regularly. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and bye bye.